Alrighty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody's having a lovely day. And with that being said, let's get into the TA. All right, guys, happy Friday. We're going to keep this one nice and short because we do have the weekly update coming out tomorrow. We're just going to go over some intraday price action. We got a few setups we're going to talk about, but I'm going to leave most of what we're going to be talking about this weekend for tomorrow's video. All right, so we're going to start here with QQQ. I am going to point out 435 target has been hit. You broke up from yesterday and you went straight to our target. And now you look to be heading to the top of the channel. Now, the top of the channel is going to be around 440. So that's where I'm saying we have room up to. Not saying it gets up there, but we're going to look at spying in IWM, and they do suggest we are going to continue higher. IWM at least suggests we're going to be continuing higher. We don't have any bearish divergence going on. This is what I've been saying, guys. We have no reason to be bearish here. We have only the reasons to be bullish until proven otherwise. And they're still proving that we should still be bullish. Come over here to SPY. You also don't have any hourly bearish divergence going on over there. You do have this 15-minute bearish divergence popping up here. So that is your first warning sign. All right. You do have the same thing going on over here. But as far as the hourly time frame goes, guys, we got nothing popping up yet. But there are your warning signs on the 15-minute time frame. We're going to actually just jump over here to IWM before we go any further. I am going to point out IWM buyers held the line right there at the 0.786 fib. You bottomed in the golden pocket. You held your uptrend right here, and now you have exploded. All right, above 195.74. We were saying you had room up here. Well, you closed out yesterday above 195.74, so you had room to here. Now we're at 199.41. We're in our supply zone. Things are still looking pretty strong. It looks like IWM is just going to bust through this thing. I'm just going to put it out there. I think it looks like we're going to do something like this. All right, guys, above 199.41, you have nothing until 205. That is what I think is incoming. We don't have any bearish divergence going on here on the hourly time frame yet. On the 15-minute time frame, you also don't even have bearish divergences going on. So yeah, I do think you're going to break this resistance at 199.41. I think you're going to be heading up to 205 next week. I am bullish for next week. And if I'm bullish on IWM next week, you know, dang right, we're going to be bullish on SPY and QQ going into next week. All right, but this thing looks absolutely immaculate, and I just want to show you guys that. All right, we're going to finish off the index talk over here on SPY, guys. $500 target has been reached. Guys, you literally came back and back tested the previous high yesterday. You flipped this supply zone into demand, and then you went straight to our target. All right. I told you guys that I thought there would be sellers stepping up at 500, but I think anybody who does is going to get squeezed for a little bit. Just like I thought you were going to be squeezed if you were opening up short positions over here, and the same as over here. All right, guys. Now we're at 500, big psych level right there. A lot of people are probably like, oh, we hit it. Freaking short the thing. They're going to take it from here. Guys, that's the only thing that's going to keep this thing going higher here. Things are going crazy, all right? I just wouldn't be bearish on this market just yet. Just putting it out there. We're bullish into next week. You guys can see what's shaping up here. We got a big fat green daily candlestick going on here. We put on the Bollinger Bands. How are those looking? I know we're going to be overextended. I understand. All right. I do understand. But you still do have room. Okay. Still got room. Same with over here on QQQ. And look at that. It's pointing to the upper bound of this channel. 440 incoming. All right, guys. Now let's talk about some individual tickers before we go any further with those. Let's talk about SMH here. All right, guys. Chip stocks are going one by one. They really are just going at, like, literally just one by one. They're going. All right. We had ARM taken off yesterday. It is continuing higher today. Well, it's not continuing higher, but you are finding buyers stepping up after this morning's consolidation. All right. So SMH, guys, like, it doesn't really matter what's bringing it higher. You're being brought higher. You got SMCI going higher. You got NVIDIA going higher. AMD, that's what we're going to talk about right now, though. We're going to talk AMD. We're going to talk INTC. We're going to talk, not SMCI. We're going to talk TSM. All right. AMD, this is the one that I think is going to be the most important. Well, not think the most important. It's the most important to me right here, right now. It has been the lagger. You're literally just, well, we have a few laggers. All right. INTC has also been a lagger. So we will be taking a look at that chart as well. But this guy, guys, consolidation. Awful volume just coming in this consolidation, guys. I think we're about to see a volume explosion, all right? It's literally deflating. The thing is deflating right now. They're probably making a lot of people go over to the other chip stocks, and then boom, they're going to send this thing. Guys, if you break out of this, you're probably going to break above 180, and by the time you break above 180, it's already too late, and you're coming all the way up to 185. I'm just putting it out there. You now have two large lower wicks going on. I don't know how this is going to close out the day because this is only 1:30 Eastern Standard Time. All right. Again, we're recording this video right now. We're going to make this short because we do have the weekly update. That is going to be the longer form content of the weekend. Stay tuned for that. Coming out tomorrow. But guess what, guys? 2 weeks. Well, technically 3 weeks, all right, guys? All I'm saying is buyers are stepping up at the previous all-time highs. This thing looks like it is going to go back to exploding. It's just only a matter of time. I understand it's not doing an SMCI where, you know, week after week you're going up like 25%. But I still do think this thing is loading, all right? I do. I think we have another week like this loading. I'm not saying a $30 week. I'm saying I think we're taking out those highs, and once you're back over there, you're in price discovery mode. All right, next chip stock we're going to take a look at, INTC. This thing is basing. It's on my radar. You are coming up to your 9 EMA. You're finding sellers there. Your daily RSI is kind of, you know, in the same spot, or at least relatively in the same spot as all of these other bottoms. I'm just putting it out there. This thing is probably going to start recovering from here. All right, I understand SMH is already at highs, but this is what I'm talking about. I think SMH is going to keep going to highs because you're going to have each of these chip stocks just going one by one at this point. I think INTC does have some room for recovery. You do have the gap left open at 48.97, so right here. All right, double click that guy. 48.97. We're going to make you green, guys. If you are new to my channel, I do color code everything. Red lines are going to be your support and resistance levels. Green are always going to be the gaps. And then you're going to see my trend lines will always be orange. That is how we make our patterns. But yeah, guys, your base in here, you do have a hammer candlestick put in right at the bottom. I'm guessing off of right there. Right there, that did mark your bottom. And you were breaking above that base. So I do want to put it out there. This thing looks like it's about to get moving and grooving. You now have a downtrend break. I like the setup. I want to see some volume come into the stock. And then I think we could see that recovery. All right, so something I'm watching for right there. But as of right now, guys, today is the day you're breaking out of this hourly downtrend. You're basing, all right, inverse head and shoulders, whatever you want to look at this thing as, you're doing it, all right? And if you want to know where the inverse head and shoulders is, it's right there in that big old sloppy mess, which is actually a pretty clean mess. It's not sloppy. Next one we're going to be talking about is TSM. This is the last one I'm going to be discussing today. And I'll talk about one more for you guys. Just one more. I got two. I got two for you. I'll put on your radar. But guess what? All right, we're still going to talk about more in the weekly update. But over here, TSM, guys. TSM, this is one I am watching, all right? I want to put it on your radar because I do think this thing is going to be continuing back up to the highs. You are literally getting pullback, getting buyers stepping in. I think you probably are doing something like this where you can have a big move and then you consolidate. I understand you had a much larger move than these two candlesticks right there. That's 5%. This is like, yeah, almost over 10% there, 11%. But I'm just going to say this thing is so close to its previous all-time high. You had 2 days here stretch over $10. That was $15 of movement in 2 days. I think this thing's probably going to take out all-time highs before it comes down. Just putting that out there. Maybe it does what AMD is doing where you take out the all-time high and then you kind of just consolidate there. But this is one I want to put on your radar because it's not yet at all-time highs, but it's getting pretty close up there. I know it's extended, so either I'm going to be bullish on this pullback and I'm looking to buy that dip somewhere, or, I mean, I'm not going to play it right now. I'm going to be honest. I've definitely been watching it today and I've been considering it, but I mean, there's nothing really to go off of. You are taking a lotto here, hoping it ends up running over here. And if I was going to do that, all right, which I'm going to say you do have a setup to be played over here. You do have places you can risk. Guess what? It's going to be done over here on AMD. But yeah, TSM is looking pretty mighty bullish up here, right next to all-time highs. You got $10 to go. I think you're probably going to take that out. Could it be next week? I don't know, right? So now let's talk about some setups that we're paying attention to, right? Schwab guy, Charles Schwab. Guess what? The giant Schwab. You're breaking out of your downtrend. If you can get above 64.69, that's where I really like it, or a straight up move back into the zone right here. All right. Guess what? You have this double bottom. You break above 64.69. That is going to be your neckline. You get above there, you have a double bottom breakout. You probably see more buyers come into the stock. There you go. What is the last one we're going to be discussing today? FSLR. This thing's looking mighty juicy. I'm not going to say you have massive volume going on today, but by the end of the day, you're going to have increasing volume here. You're breaking above 150.27. I think you're probably going to get a straight shot up here to 155 and then 159. Something I'd put on your radar. Boom. I love you guys. I got your back. You got my back. With that being said, I'll catch you on the next one. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.